Hey everyone, my name is Miriam, and today in this video I'm going to be going over some tips and tricks for anybody that's going to be taking art classes in high school, specifically AP Studio Art, because that's what I did in high school. The clips in this video are from me working on my first piece for my senior year portfolio, and I'll just be sharing some tips that I found worked for me while preparing to submit my portfolio to College Board. Throughout the course of the class, what we did was we came up with our own ideas and a specific inquiry that we had to follow throughout the whole process, and we would kind of guide ourselves through answering whatever questions we came up with through practice, experimentation. We would use different materials. A lot of people combined a lot of materials, so you would just explain why you did that. We used different processes, design stuff, printmaking, illustration. Some people did like game designs. Some people did fibers and cloths, just basically different mediums to work. The sustained investigation itself is 60% of the total score, and then you pick like 5 of your works. So you do anywhere from 12 to 15 for the sustained investigation, and then for the selected works it's 5 specific works that each demonstrate think of it as a milestone in like your whole process. That's how I kind of thought about it. At our school, personally, our teacher had us take pictures as we went, and we would submit pictures with each piece that we turned in. That way, it helped us have pictures for the sustained investigation part, because all 15 don't have to be finished pieces. They can be like collages of your process, or they can be pages collages. I did a lot of collages of my sketchbook process. And that's also a thing that he had us do that was really helpful. We would turn in sketchbook pages along with our process pictures, and then we would turn in little blurbs as well, just explaining what exactly we were doing for each piece, and it just kind of helped everything come together at the end more smoothly than if we were scrambling around at the very end of the portfolio. For the question itself, through all 3 of my portfolios that I submitted, I came more and more to realize that it's not about the question itself that you're asking, but rather how you're asking the question. So a lot of people will go asking, for example, is water wet? That's an example that comes up a lot in our class as a bad example, just because it's not a question that you can go different ways with. So something that our teacher really honed in on that helped me understand was, rather than asking is water wet, you would ask, how have I seen water portrayed throughout my entire life that has led me to ask if water is wet? So you would, that kind of has parts that you can explore, so you can go as this is the history of the person who asked this question, the very first, dating back to this was the first person who asked is water wet. And then you would go, and you can go the route of, personally, what is my first personal childhood memory that involves water, and then how that kind of leads me in science class to start asking these questions, and then this, that, and the third, just stuff like that, where you can pick apart different parts of that question is really good. The second part is the materials that you're using. So that's very broad, but you want to make sure that somehow you're tying the materials into the question and the process itself. So you can do not just I picked color pencil, but why specifically did I pick color pencil, or the history of this specific color that I used in this context, or something like that. Also, definitely want to include other elements like shape, texture, space, just experimenting with those elements and explaining why you're making those choices. For one of my portfolios, all the people that were included in every piece, they didn't have pupils. And I explained that the reason why I did that was because I wanted to experiment with portraying certain emotions and certain feelings without the help of pupils, because usually you look to people's eyes for context of what emotion they're feeling, especially when you're thinking of art pieces. So if somebody's looking down, they might be feeling more sad, versus if they're looking up, they may be feeling more hopeful or elated. But I explained that I use different colors and different like lines to help portray certain things. That's basically all the advice I have. Last thing though I will say is to keep your scheduling in mind. So each piece should be taking about 2 weeks. So in terms of sizes and mediums that you're working with, you just want to make sure that you're working efficiently. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.